Hi, in this video I'm going to expose and break down Ravi Abuvala's 1.6 million a month super simple funnel and strategy. Now, this is Ravi Abuvala, right? And this is his business, which is scaling with system. And now, in this video, you'll learn what meta ad strategy he currently implements, then a super simple breakdown of his entire VSO to call funnel, and his personal branding and content strategy, how you can implement this in your business and start printing like this. Okay, let me introduce myself real quick. So, I'm Nick from Scale Pilot. I've managed over 7 figures in ads. I've scaled more than 50 businesses, high ticket businesses, in the last 3 years. If you want to scale your high ticket business to multiple 7 figures, you can book a call with me, first link in the description. So we're going to have a one-on-one talk and see if we can work together. So before we even start breaking down his funnel, let's understand what his offer is, right? So basically his offer is done for you marketing system, which he plugs in to like different ICPs like agency, coaches, consultants, and online service providers. So what does he deliver to these prospects or these ICPs? So it's pretty simple. It's meta ads, funnel, follow-up system, and sales script. So he's doing everything for them, right? So now, what is his promise in his offer? So his super simple promise is it's going to help cold traffic convert the same way as a warm traffic would do. As we know, cold traffic are harder to reach, harder to crack, So he is addressing this pain point in his promise. Okay, what's the guarantee over here? What he incentivizes as a guarantee in his offer. So there are two types of guarantees. One is you generate ad spend from the system or you don't pay, right? And other is 30 days money back guarantee, which is kind of a non-negotiable in this niche. Now, his unique mechanism in the offer, which you need looking at the market sophistication over here. So I'm quoting his exact headline from his landing page. So this is a done for you marketing system that pays itself in 30 days, or you don't pay a dime, or you don't pay. So the highlighted part is his unique mechanism, right? Unless you're doing some kind of guesswork or you don't know what you're doing as an operator or a marketer, you normally always calculate your ad spend or your numbers to optimize for your next credit card cycle. So it should be around 30 days. So in my previous video, I've explained why it's important to calculate your AOV in 30 days to know your budget or your ad spend, right? And framing it as pays for itself is really genius. It's his unique mechanism and kind of sounds different from your regular marketing promise. And one core pain point that a lot of his ICP has or face is that so like they might have to sometimes fund their ad spend with their own budget or like right out of their pocket. So he's further preventing that, right? Now, why his offer works so well for his ICP? First of all, let's start with who this is for. These are for agency owners, coaches, consultants, or online service providers, right? And why? Before I start why, again, let's understand his customer journey. So this is a business owner or his ICP prospect, right? So they usually start with different platforms like organic platforms, Instagram, Facebook, like referrals or YouTube, X or Twitter. They slowly grow, and a lot of these guys know what they're talking about in their platforms, and I like to call them organic demons, right? They're really good with organics. organic content. Now, they want to go big, which is pretty natural. And if you don't want to go big, I'd say just don't watch this video. Now, scaling needs converting cold traffic or cold audience. So inevitably, you have to go to paid advertising. What do they usually do when they want to transition from organic to paid? So they usually try to do it themselves or like and they don't see any results or they hire a mid agency and like people in the game they're not really good and get scammed by them, or they try to run ads by themselves with their own voice, like they would do in organic content. But it does not really work when you try to convert cold traffic. You and me both know this. And they also fund ad campaigns with their own money, which is not really a predictable system and not how we want to run ads, right? So this is where he comes, and this is why his offer works. His ICP or business owners, online business owners, they're confused and sad. But the GOAT Ravi acts as the bridge for that gap. And his offer is the guide. So they go scale really hard as fuck and they have a predictable system and they print more money, which you want to do as well. Now let's start with his funnel breakdown. We'll start with meta ads. As you can see, this is a screenshot from his Facebook ad library, straight up pasted here. And you can see there are 9 results, which means 9 ads. The oldest one is from June 22, and the most recent is around July 21, 20. So not too old. So it's about like a month old, and they're getting a significant amount of spend. So let's look at the attributions or distributions of different kinds of ad in different formats, right? Now he has 9 ads in total, like I said again. So 2 static ads, and he has 1 static reel and 6 different video ads. Now, I'll start explaining with the static ads. So one of them is really authentic. He's with his friends, and it's like a photo, and there's a text which says, I'm looking for 10 to 15 business owners who want to scale without spending more on paid ads. So pretty straightforward, calling out his ICP and giving them a promise, right? Next is his Note app ad, which really prints and we make it across our clientels as well. Why it works really well is because it acts as like a scroll stopper. And also, people are flooded with different kind of things. It just hits more home to them because if you use like iPhone, you do have Notes app, right? Static ads are great for testing and gives you analytics really quick. So if you're not running static ads, you have to do it. He has 1 static reels, which also is great for testing and giving you lower CPM. And last but not least, video ads, 6 different video ads, which I'm going to break down one by one, starting with his first video, which I'm going to use like a problem, agitate, and solution, the classic direct response format, right? So in this video, starts with the problem, which is like lack of proper marketing system from click to close, so from ad to close. Now, next is his agitate, which is not breaking even on ads, like bad leads, bad show up rate, or like unqualified prospects, you know. And next is his solution, which is his done for you offer. Okay, moving on to next video. In in this video, he's talking to a client and he showcases his authority by giving away the exact levers in a close process. So he's breaking down how he does close process and why it's so easy for him. And also his signifying or giving out, highlighting importance of a robust sales script. This is really interesting because he ran an entire VSL as an ad. So my intuition says it's more of a middle of the funnel kind of ad, like a retargeting ad. But however, Ravi's really smart. So my other guess is that if they watch the entire VSL in the ad or their, let's say, Instagram, Facebook, the friction is going to be less when they go to the landing page, and they don't have to watch the VSL again, so the customer journey is shrink down. Next video, which which he addresses pain points like bad show up rate, unnurtured leads in sales calls, and further agitates the problem more. Right now, this video specifically, he tries to lead with a story, and he's breaking down the current situation the coaches are in and reveals the consequences of not fixing it, which like agitating the problem more. And this one, he also pinpoints one uncertainty that a lot of coaches have, which is like not knowing how next month's revenue is going to come. Like they don't have a good lead acquisition channel. So his pinpointing really deep and dark pain points or desires that his current ICP has. One is he's exposing the average marketing agency's harsh truth. You work with them, they don't give you results in like 2 months, 3 months, and they keep on asking you to extend the period, try to like give you pretty numbers like, oh, we hit five times ROAS, but you're not making any money on that, right? So he's exposing the truth of average marketing agency while also differentiating him across the industry, that how he's different, how he does his job really well. Okay, next up is his landing page. Nothing to like talk home about or yap a lot about. This is pretty straightforward. However, I'm going to break down different parts of a good landing page, which he has. So first is the eyebrow, which is calling out who this is for. Then his headline and his unique mechanism that I explained why it's so good and genius. Then his promise. Then now his VSL. It's around, I think, 8 or 9 minutes, which ideally you want to have in this niche. Industry best practices, or when we work with our clients, the VSL always starts with like a promise, who I am, and then reviewing or revealing the exact unique mechanism, right? But you have to understand that guy this massive or guy with this big authority can bypass that kind of like standard because he can start with real results. And this is another way of running a VSL. And of course, if this is proving or giving him results, then this absolutely works. So he starts with results and then explains why there's like zero risk for his ICP to work with him. And this is the really important part, is this you part. So he's calling out his ICP again here. Why is this important? Because if some people do not resonate in this part of the video sales letter or VSO, they're going to disqualify themselves. They're going to be like, oh, this offer is probably not for me. So I'm going to get the fuck out. And it's likely that he's going to have a better time with qualified people who are taking his slot, taking his calendar, right? Next is revealing the solution or the exact process or steps that he takes or he implements into his clients, which is like 30 days or 90 days what he does. Next section is proof it works. So basically more social proof. And last part is CTA, which is book a call. Let's find out what your system is. Let's find out what revenue you're doing, all that. So why is it important to have video sections like this? Video sections usually mean more content consumption. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but the idea is, let's say you're selling high ticket, right? So you're selling to rich people, which we do as well. So you want to break down your video into different sections because rich people don't have time. Like their time is money. It's really important. So you have to respect their time and they're only going to watch what resonates with them, right? This page or this section is his case studies. So if you see here, you can identify a really big figure as his client, which helps the other leads to gain more trust. And now, again, a CTA, which is nice. You have to have a lot of CTAs across your landing page. Now, another format of client testimonial, which is like a video format, right? Another section, which is customer reviews, real people talking about your product, showcasing their wins, their success. And you see how he's added like full name, their face, so people get more comfortable working with you or you get more trust, right? And last but not least, FAQs, which is really important. And ideally, you want to summarize or put a lot of objections that you get in the sales call so that they can just like handle the objections by themselves. And when they read it, they also get more knowledge about your product or offer. Okay, next is his qualification questions or type form questions, what you want to call it. It starts with a question, which is, are you actively building or have a high ticket coaching, consulting, info, whatever, like business, right? And then you say yes. Then he asks you for a full name. Then he asks you your email, his phone number, and at the end, he's also going to ask you the exact bottleneck or the exact kind of problems you're having within your business. For example, he says, we don't have enough qualified book calls or too many unqualified book calls. Our show rate is low. So this is going to help your sales guys later on find out what kind of problem they're facing and direct the sales calls in that certain way or problem. Next is his average monthly revenue over the last 3 months. This question, which is kind of a financial qualifier. So you're asking what your revenue is. So if it's like 0 to 10K, I think you're disqualified and you cannot like book a call, but any more than that, any more number than that, you're good to go. Last question he asks is how soon you want to work, right? So this is like checking the urgency and also you want to work with people who are ready right now because your sales guy's time is really valuable, right? Now, booking page. So nothing to yap about a lot again. It's a pretty simple booking page. Now this gets interesting. This is a thank you page. So it's pretty straightforward. It just says your book Nick, my first name, and your revenue system diagnostic call is confirmed, which means what you're going to do in the call later on. And he's adding a direct button that redirects you to either calendar or text confirmation. So there's less friction and you don't have to open your phone or like look after check every message. You can directly redirect it to your calendar app or your texts. Next is his primary video. In this exact video, he's doing these 5 different things. So he starts with listing out the reasons why they booked a call. For example, like you might not have a good marketing system, you might have revenue leaks here and there. And the other thing that he mentioned is going to map out their current revenue system or marketing approach and find the biggest bottleneck or the single biggest bottleneck in there and build a 30 to 90 days implementation plan to fix that problem. And also, last but not least, the CTA to add the event to calendar. So it's going to increase the show up rates, right? And not a lot of social proof because he does have like a social proof wall, like with a lot of volume on the front landing page side. So here he's just adding a small video that shows the ICP how they're going to be treated in the call in a similar way that he breaks down his client's business in this video. Now let's understand his content and personal branding strategy. So to be honest, this is a nurturing machine. Like, man is dialed in, man's locked into this entire content ecosystem. He's really good with it. So I'm going to start with his Instagram and let's break down his Instagram page first. So a clear headshot of him, which is really important and nice. And then he mentions in his bio, the first line in his bio is I scale business and buy fun toys or too many toys, right? So pretty clear, straightforward. And then he has added his or he's tagged his main business so the traffic can be redirected to his main business. And there's a social proof. It says he's helped 3,000 plus clients, and the promise over here, which is we grow your business or you don't pay. And I've kind of put his content or some of his posts in like a funnel, so it's easier for you to understand. And I've sectioned it into three different stages of awareness, like top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. So, top of the funnel, that's where he gets most of the eyeballs or people find out about him. And there's like lifestyle content, his having a really fancy dinner, or his with his boy in his bike, like kind of showcasing his life. And like he's mentioned, he's buying a lot of toys, so you can see a plane, bike, a boat. Now his middle of the funnel content, which is educating the leads, educating people that visit his channel or his Instagram. He has those short clips of him accumulated and posted frequently because it's easier to produce and he's already making a lot of content naturally, so short form does help in his case. Now his bottom of the funnel content, here he explains the stages or sophistication of market, which are 5 different sophistications. And there's in this exact video, there's like a soft CTA, which is redirecting his audience to YouTube. So they're going to go there and further understand him, know how he works, because YouTube is his kind of main nurturing machine or platform. Okay, again, let's go to YouTube. So pretty straightforward banner, helping you build a biz that serves you instead of serving it. And this is again a clear shot of his face, which is nice. Bio, founder of scaling the system. Then there's a CTA, like a link. And I put this inside a funnel or like stages of awareness of his prospect, which is top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, right? So in top of the funnel, he wants to attract more viewers, more eyeballs. So the topic is little broad and it attracts a lot of different kind of people. So they might be like e-com people or email marketing people as well. But his main ICP might also get caught in these kind of videos and they're going to transcend or they're going to move further down into middle of the funnel videos, which are his courses or long form videos that give them the exact system and like how to do business, all kind of stuff. You can see from the thumbnail, like there's a video that says hit 8 figures and the business system, then make boring videos. I've built over 2,000 funnels. This is what I know. So these are all long form courses that help him gain more authority, further nurture the leads, get more engagement, right? His bottom of the funnel video, which is proof or social proof that you need that, oh, hey, I've worked with a similar guy like you. So you can watch this video and gain more affinity to me, or if some guy or if some people watching that video are in the same situation as the client he's breaking down business of, they're going to relate more and want to work with Ravi more, right? If you look at his channel or if you look at his different platforms, primary platforms, you'll find out that his content kind of overlap each other, right? If you see like other gurus, their Instagram tells a different story, their YouTube tell a different story, but his content kind of overlap and work together. So this is really important for you as well to have a similar kind of vibe across platforms. Now, let's understand his customer's journey. And customer is king. Remember, guys, customer is king. Now, usually a prospect is unaware and cold. They're on their own journey, right? They're just walking. And how do they find him? Maybe it's Instagram or YouTube. So next, they watch his content. They want to know more. They want to learn more. And while doing that, they come across his ad. And after they watch the ad, they probably book a call with him. They book a call with him. Then, of course, talking with the sales guys, they get closed, implement the system, and at the end, after the system works, they start printing and they get really, really rich. The customers need to have a similar journey, right? They can either find you out with like organic content, it's fine, or paid content. Similar in Ravi's case, if you want to convert someone who's cold, who doesn't know about you, doesn't care about you yet, first of all, your goal is to get their attention. Then, with your content and your ad, you want them to know more about you, learn more about your offer, right? So, what's the key takeaway in this entire video or his entire operational cycle? As you can see, there are five different parts or five different components that make a really good operation. So, which is offer, content, then you have ads, then you have conversion mechanism, then you have your closers, right? Now, as you can see in Ravi's case, everything's dialed in. So there might be subtle gaps, but in like entirety, it does work out for him because everything's dialed in. Everything's saying the same stuff. His ads are saying the same stuff. His content is saying the same stuff. His offer is pretty much dialed in and saying the same stuff. And at the end, his sales guys are obviously trained really well and they will be saying the same stuff. So make sure your entire marketing channel, your ads, your organic, everything says or speaks the same language and gives out the same promise. So everyone is on the same page, right? Now, what's the highest lever you can pull right now? What's the greatest set of action you can take right now? Like the famous painter Pablo Picasso said, good artists copy, but great artists steal, right? So you can take inspiration from this video and check out Ravi's stuff, his funnel, do your own analysis on it, do your own study, and apply it to your own business and start printing hard cash. Let me be honest, I know how it feels to be in trenches trying to figure it out yourself, trying to go through a lot of courses or like watching multiple videos. If you want to ride the scale pilot rocket and print hard cash, scale really hard, then click first link in the description below. Let's book a one-on-one call with me and find out if you qualify to work with us. Thank you. See you next video.